Today we're going to see a decidedly low-tech version of the Scrum board, and that's quite deliberate. Too often we focus on tooling and to support the Scrum sprints, when in fact what we really need to do is make sure that we get the process right first. The nice thing about using this particular approach is that it's only limited by your imagination and the colors you're able to find for the Postit notes. And then we can see that as we move forward, how tooling might support this for larger teams, for making the information more readily available, but it's hard to beat this in terms of its simplicity. So we begin, as every Scrum board does, with having the user stories that are set for the sprint. We'll see them right over here. In this particular case, they've already been broken out during a sprint planning meeting into the tasks that are going to be attacked during this particular sprint. Some of them are still remaining to even be approached. Some of them have moved over to the checked out. That is to imply that somebody's working on them right now. And during the daily Scrum meeting, people will stand in our stand-up meeting and simply say, what did I accomplish yesterday? What am I going to be working on today? And is there anything blocking me, anything causing me any kind of hurdle? So we've obviously already had a Scrum meeting. That's why some of the stuff is out in the checked out. So let's imagine we're going through a stand-up Scrum meeting today. So somebody is reporting to the Scrum Master that they've been working on this business delegate here. It had 2 days outstanding on it, and they've been able to reduce that by a day. And so we just simply record it right here on the Postit note in place. So we see some progress that's occurring in place as this burns down. In this particular case, this was either misestimated or someone was able to really focus their time, and the person here who is working on this particular piece reports that it's now complete. So we move it over into the done column, and we'll record that in a moment. We have a demo checked out because in this particular case, someone is working on scheduling the demo, and that has fallen to them to do that, but the demo hasn't taken place, so it can't be moved over to the final piece yet. And someone here is reporting on the config system mods here, says, well, you know, I didn't really get as much done as I would have hoped, and in fact, there was some unforeseen work that popped up. Well, it's nice to be able to report unforeseen work. And so in this particular case, we happen to use a bright green Postit note just simply to show something that was unplanned or unforeseen. And we'll just place it right on here. And there's been an initial estimate given of another day on this, just so we can keep track of what's going on in the Burndown. And in further discussion, we see that this particular story, which speaks to setting up an override environment, there's a block going on here as well. And we use blue for blocking, simply to report now that there's a block going on here. That will force the Scrum Master to seek to remove that particular blockage, that impediment, so that people can conduct their work. You can see right now, just even right now, looking at the board, it conveys a lot of information. What's still remaining to be done, what's already been completed, and what is in the midst of being done. Some progress is made. We have some unforeseen work, and in fact, we've got a blockage going on. There's a lot of information conveyed in just a few Postit notes on a wall. One of the things that we also speak to in Scrum is the way that we really want to attack defects or bugs that arise during a sprint. And so we color code them again in a different color. We happen to use a bright pink one, and we generally just put them at the top, because the idea is they should take precedence. If people find they have any number of cycles at all, they should be attacking these right away. And in this particular case, we happen to put a tracking number on here so that whatever change management or defect tracking system that's in place, they can go get the details from there. In this particular case, we talk about a null pointer exception on a particular piece of code that was delivered in a prior sprint, presumably something that snuck through our QA. So, already, we've got enough information now that we can begin to record our progress on the Burndown chart. It's incumbent on the Scrum Master to record the results on the Burndown. Very important, provides all the visibility that's generally necessary to know how the sprint is going along. So we know that we completed one 2-day task and we burned down another 2-day task by a day. So we've actually completed 3 units of work on the first day. So we are moving below the line. This is all good news. I should tell you, it doesn't always work out that way. It is very easy to start to take off in this direction. Anything over here is bad, everything under here is good. Tracking the line is optimal.